Hi everyone, in this presentation I'll be exploring how differing values inform the way a water management issue concerning the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is being approached. The dam is located on the Blue Nile, a tributary of the Nile River in northeastern Ethiopia. The dam's construction began in 2011 with the primary purpose to generate electricity and suppress Ethiopia's severe energy shortage. The dam has ignited disputes between Ethiopia and downstream countries of Egypt and Sudan, who rely directly on the river's water supply. Macaulay refers to engineering developments of this kind as hard path approaches. He stipulates that the construction of dams to control river flow can provide the illusion of success initially, however can intensify issues in the long term. For the Nile to be successfully managed between its riparian countries, possible ramifications of interfering with its natural processes need to be accounted for, including reduced sediment flows, erosion, and increased vulnerability of certain areas to flooding. The water management issues concerning this dam provide an example of dominant approaches to environmental management in a complex situation. While Ethiopia regards the dam as crucial for electrification and development of the country, the downstream countries of Egypt and Sudan see the development as a direct threat to their water supplies. As Egypt's irrigation and drinking water depends on the Nile, the country wants to guarantee a certain volume of water coming into Egypt. However, Ethiopia wants to formulate a flexible agreement which allows them to make decisions regarding water distribution in their own way. The concern Egypt has in regards to the country's water security can be seen in the country's plea to the United States for assistance. The US responded by issuing a warning to Ethiopia that aid will be suspended if the dispute is not resolved. It is clear that Egypt's overall dependence on the Nile must be recognised by upstream countries. However, the country's water vulnerability must not be used to sway a future agreement in their own favour. Despite the dam being condemned by Egypt and Sudan, it was commissioned in February of this year. Greater control over water-related issues is essential to the well-being of communities along the Nile who cannot afford to leave areas of vulnerability. Currently, water management issues which arise cause conflicts and knee-jerk decisions to be made due to a lack of collaboration between the riparian countries. Intrinsic values in which communities attain from ecosystems like the Nile underlie approaches to its management. Martin refers to these intrinsic benefits as cultural ecosystem services. The continued provision of cultural ecosystem services is essential to maintaining the well-being of its riparian communities. The only legal framework for water allocation on the Nile is the 1959 agreement, which provides the so-called natural historical rights to Egypt and Sudan. The agreement only benefits these two countries and gives Egypt power over development along the river. To formulate a long-term water distribution agreement, the Nile's riparian countries need to establish better relationships among themselves. By shifting away from long-standing agreements which promote centralised control over the river and adopting a basin-wide approach, all the Nile Basin countries will be able to benefit from the common resource. Beyond negotiations between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan, a legal regime should be agreed upon by all 11 countries within Africa. By approaching the Nile's management from a regional perspective, the long-term success of water management agreements is significantly more likely. By fostering relationships between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan, leaders will have a greater capability to introduce agreements which are directed by the interests of the population. These relationships will put the region in a better position to manage future ecological challenges which contribute to the area's long-lasting poverty and vulnerability. It is therefore clear that competing approaches to how the Nile should be managed via the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam have resulted in disputes between Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan, These countries need to abandon historical agreements, acknowledge the river as a common resource, and utilise local perspectives of each country to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Thank you.